Hello everyone, welcome to Friday 5th of December 2025 crypto review. Let's get into it. A little bit's happened since the last chat, and I think it's probably worth considering. Let's start with Bitcoin on the high time frame. So Bitcoin is in a very interesting position. This is very classic. You can see my range drawn up here. It deviated below, and then it broke up to the high with potential, but then it broke right back down and through the range lows. This is a retest. So this is a short position here. You can take a short here, or you can, because it's going to do that or that, and this is the highest time frame spot, so around like 92.5. You played wide. It's a macro trade. Or if you are bullish, you wait for it to break through and hold a breakthrough on a weekly or at least a 3-day daily if you're really aggressive, and then it's off. So this is a really important spot. But we can see after it consolidated, well, really distributed up here around 120-ish, the breakdown was very quick, and this is just an automatic response. Doesn't look too good to me. I thought shorts were possible here. I still think you could probably layer something on the low time frame. Yeah, look, on the 4 I gave you tons of opportunity. Yearly open's obviously a big level. Taking liquidity above here is a big level. So it's done all of the classic things which, if you were in a bull run and you inverted this chart, you would look to buy, right? You go like, yeah, look at this. I could layer below here and it came, and I could layer at this level and it came for this level. So if you're looking at an inverse chart, which I really recommend you do sometimes, and it's giving you all the things to break down on. Having said that, let's look at it this way, and it's hanging around now though, right? I feel you had Wednesday and Thursday to get in, and if it comes back again, it could absolutely come back and then just die, but starting to feel a bit late. I'm not a big shorter, so I'm not planning to take anything, but if I was to take something, if I was super aggressive, I think I would layer it twice. I don't want it coming back all the way. This is the wrong one. So I'd layer on daily open for half my risk, and then I would layer, yeah, somewhere around there, just in case. I want it to be weak, because if it's coming up strong, that's a problem, yeah? So these would be my two expectations for the short. If we go back to the high time frame, what does this actually mean? Look, probably better as a box, honestly. Everyone hates boxes, but this seems to have been front run support once. They're trying to hold a higher low, but I still think this has a lot to play out. If it breaks up, Bob's your uncle, yeah? Then you're just looking at the reverse position where you're going here with a stop on there, and then you're aiming back for the range high with a midpoint at around 100. But yeah, apart from that, it doesn't look too strong. On the low time frame, people are freaking out, and there's a lot of liquidations because, people do. I got front run here. I was looking down here, but this would have been the retake. But I decided to just kind of slow down into December, into low liquidity, into some really weird kind of stylist play. Yeah, so that's BTC, and now I'll tell you what I showed down later when we do SPX. So what did we say on BTC very quickly? We said 92,500-ish is short long line, range retest, above longs, below shorts, automatic bounce, but not very strong. To range retest, but not very strong. And yeah, lots of liquidation still. So people leveraging too aggressively. Expect liquidity hits. F. Cool. F looked much stronger. Let's just do ETHBTC very quickly, so we have some perspective. Like, as is typical ETH style, it'll dump a long way. Tried to hold this random green line I have that support on the higher time frame. Couldn't do it. Came down to this like little block, which, you know, it's done a bit. Like, it's very clear. You can see it that someone is interested right there, and it's been transporting BTC to ETH at that level. It's still in this micro range. It's at the top of the micro range, and people are losing their minds. Above here, you know, you can look at it, right? But here, it's more likely to go down than up, just because it's in this little block. But let's look at ETH. All right, we'll just do so. ETHBTC top of local range. You can see ETH. Let's look at the high time frame, because I think people get lost in the sauce. It's above my green line and my yellow line. So my make or break line. Line wasn't perfect. You can see it stopped just below and then it bounced. So I should probably adjust that to take account of this. All right. Although I like it a bit higher. I personally like it a bit higher because of this block, but it's just not proven its metal, has it? It's proven weakness, my make break line. No, I'm going to keep it, but maybe I'll just put a second one. Just so I have perspective. Personally, I just think that shows weakness. But it did bounce, and it bounced pretty strong. And we even got a turbo retest this week, which is just great. It shows that this area is important. And this is my bull bear line on ETH. Contextually, a drop from 47 to all the way down to 26 is not a good look. It did, however, do all the things I'd suggest. You know, you waited for it to reclaim, you bought the retest, you're sitting pretty. Having said that, I'm not buying ETH. I'm not buying it now, I'm not buying it later. Not for a bit. We can see that it's just not a good looking chart. It's like been in this lateral range since 2024. This is such a low time frame. This isn't. Let's get something that has a bit more distance. Yeah. We can see that it's been in this range since 2021. One breakdown, two breakdowns, and then now it's in the quote-unquote upper part of this range, really, if you drew it out. And I may actually just do that. I can't make it fit, but you know, it's in the upper part. It's broken down. It took liquidity. It literally just took liquidity, and then it immediately broke down. Was there for this? It was just wild. It's trying to hold this bull bear line, but as I have previously said, I do not trust ETH in bear markets, which makes it decent when it starts running because it doesn't seem to respect supports as well as it should. Like, I mean, this was respected barely, this little bit was barely respected, and then this is the bit that gets respected. Well, I mean, you could have been running through 3 times trying to bid support on ETH before you pick the magic button, and you know, it's just not a world I live in. Anyway, it's above this line, so longs above 2800 are reasonable, but looking at historical precedent, when it broke down in July 2024, it did bounce off this orange line before it broke, which is great. and it once again did try and bounce. But oh my gosh, is that a rough bounce? Yeah, it did bounce and close above it in February 2025, but you know, and then you had all of this time to realize it broken down. So it does matter, and you know, it matters probably more than I'm giving it credit for, even for ETH. But looking at the two previous times we've got here, it's just broken down further, really. Yeah, it's got a nice bounce, so that's a scalp. Yeah, so scalping level, potential to break down further. But like I say, I do not like ETH on in these types of markets. I don't feel it gives you good structure. I don't feel it responds very well. It feels very random, and it has just historic ability to break down. Yeah, have fun. Yeah, so I think that's it for ETH. I still think a better position to bid is 18 to 22, but I don't even want to imagine the world where we get there. That is what it is. SPX. Let's have a look at SPX, because this is what scares me. Still going up. 2 recent breakdown attempts being instantly reversed. Not even like minorly, just boom, straight up. But in the context of SPX almost getting to all-time highs, trying all-time highs again, but crypto struggling. That's not good. And that's what scares me, because we saw minor breakdowns in the SPX, literally minor breakdowns, like, okay, 4%, but in a local range breakdown, just send crypto to the phantom zone. And there's a lot of room for the SPX to dip and still look bullish. I mean, like, where's the pen? Where's the pen? Let's find a pen. Alright, we'll use the line. If it just does this, and then it does this, looks really good. Where will crypto be? And I think that's where you get your 21, 2200. And people are scared to death. Overall, still looks, I mean, we're heading to December, we're heading into light area. January is generally a down month. I mean, liquidity is light. Liquidity looks light. Needs investigation. But still holding up. Terrifies me. And that's why I've been very relaxed about what I'm doing for a bit. I mean, yes, SPX tends to recover in fees from dumps because, you know, the whole world, the Fed, the US president wants to protect it, but yeah, it's not great. Mon. So I had some high hopes from Mon. It's been very disappointing and continues to disappoint. This has, I bought some, lost a bit of money. The fact that it almost went 2x from the buys, but then just immediately retraced, and it just looks bad. I know what's going to take for them to fix it, but I'm looking for signs of life, because for small amounts of money, I think once it starts getting there, it can fix itself. It's taking the lowest low. There's nowhere else to go. Why is it coming back? So I'm looking to see where it bottoms and puts a bottoming in structure, and then I will start hitting for 0.1 again. Pretty classic small coin stuff. Hype. This is also indicative for me. I broke down. Retested twice. You have 2 very clean shorts. If you wanted them. It's broken down. Doesn't have a lot of structure down here, so I mean 20s on the cards, for 17s on the cards, or it'll just bounce randomly. I don't have any more insight just because of there's not much PA. Yeah, there's a little bit of this, but how much did this matter? Like between 26 and 19, it didn't matter at all here. It's not where I'll put my money. So Sol, I've been purporting the kind of 2-layer strategy. I think you've got to start T-sizing. It's hit this once, it's almost hit it twice, and it's not moved. And this is on the weekly chart. This has been hanging around forever. Can't break local resistance after hitting long-term high-low time frame support. There's been no other times when it didn't at least get up to 150. So that's a change in behavior. So Mon hype. So Mon hype not looking good. Waiting for bottoming structures. Potential hit shorts if you are into that. Where did I say that? Hype short should be, yeah, 35.6 ish. So bounce looks limp compared to other bounces from 120-ish. Start to be where I don't think it's time to give up on the trade yet. I hate giving up on trades because, you know, you can get swung out by the market and volatility, but it's not the best. I mean, you had a little bit of a bounce, at least enough to keep you warm at night, 20%, but not huge. Anything else I just have on my radar that's worth mentioning? You're just seeing alts exit. Even this, like, you know, even ZEC has had its moment in the sun and is getting short on now. Bankers coin. They're trying to put in a bottom structure, but can't even trade that. Look at XPL, man. This is my concern for Mon. We saw XPL come out of the gates a lot hotter than Mon ever did, and then it's just been TWAP to death. There's no point getting in. There's no bottoming structure. What you need is it for it to start turning the corner, yeah? Or to at least breach this line. I'll watch out for that. Okay, that's enough of the charts, which suggests bounces have happened, automatic bounces have happened. ETH looked good. It had its whole it had a whole narrative about such a great narrative about its you know, coming upgrade, and you know, that probably added to it. People are like, oh, you know, upgrade trade. Well, the upgrades happen now, and it's kind of broken out of this low range structure, but in the high time frame it still looks a bit grim. I mean, choose your time frame, choose your bias. I don't know enough about ETH at this point to take a view. I think there were longs down here. This is wild. This 1 hour just drop off kind of means a lot of this is fake liquidity, is like, and it's being manipulated, obviously, but more than usual. No buyers in that entire set, and then it just reverses that Sunday to Monday play. Versus what we used to see, where it used to pump on a Sunday and then retrace on the Monday. But I mean, that playbook was really aggressive here. I don't fault anyone for not getting involved. So yeah, I don't really have insight, especially with the fork and how people are positioned. It's broken low time frame resistance here. So potentially, you know, that's a changing approach, but feels kind of light. Feels kind of small given the move we saw. Yeah. But this could just be the start. But if it's a start, we've got a bit of time, so I'm not too rushed. All right. Let's get off charts and let's move to news. By the way, I'm looking for good news. Let me put, if you know any good crypto news sites with important information, please let me know. My latest sources have kind of dried up, so I was behind the curve on several things. Let's have a look at this. So we can see on Coinbase that Bitcoin basically moved through space from 82 to 94. There was barely anything. A little bit here in terms of training walls. And as we go back down to 82, there is support. So I think a trade down at along 80 to 82 makes some sense. I mean, 80k to 82k makes sense for long orders, and that's where I'm layered. On F, I don't think wolves play that well, but you know, let's have a look. Yeah, we can see someone was manipulating it into the Monday, and then it just motored, and the wolves, you know, stillish there. Really need more high time frame data here. I may see if I can buy a package of something, but yeah, look, F's also moving through space. Bit randomly. All right, inflows. Let's look at the weekly. After 3 1 billion negative weeks, the last 2 weeks in Bitcoin have just been trading. Not very much down, not very much up, but people are freaking out still, all the same. Obviously, ETF flows aren't the full flows, and I don't want to go back to it, but we did see Coinbase Premium turn positive on both ETH and BTC, which indicates that other non-ETF players were getting involved. You know, maybe crypto management companies, maybe Bitmine. You get the point. Someone was interested, and we have some news on that actually, which we'll go into in a bit. But yeah, so the ETFs aren't really, they're kind of slowing down. I don't expect much into the new year. Same with ETH, right? Taking out the noise. Yeah, last week they had 3 million in, and I think some of that was driven by the fork news. Doesn't matter too much. All in all, pretty quiet on the ETH front. They're not driving us. Sailor, let's have a look at where he's at. He bought to try and save his 100k. He bought 8,000 Bitcoin. Really laid out the chart there. Wasn't enough, and now he's back to buying 130. Good man. He's at a problem spot. As we can see, leverage continues to rise. I mean, funding, it looks like funding's negative. Yeah, look, funding is not even, so it's overly shorted. But I wonder how much of that is people just protecting portfolios. Generally, with so many shorts, you want to take them out, and I guess we had a bit of that. Let me just change this so I can. Yeah, so not been much changed over. See if the 4-hour provides me any more data. There's not been much changed. It's been overly shorted for a while now. On this measure, the arguably 0.1 should be even, and it doesn't seem to be on the long time frames. But yeah, look, there's a bit more shorts going on. People are shorting up here. BTC. Not showing the same pattern, actually. Open interest is pretty muted through this, which is just great for a change. Oh, interesting. So on this run up, given price moved up and this moved down, it seems like a lot of shorts just took profits, which makes a ton of sense. Makes a ton of sense. I'm not sure how much I like this funding rates figure. It really just doesn't seem to be that right. I'll have to play with it later. But fundamentally, yeah. Okay, so a lot of shorts pressure came off. They took their profit, and we are where we are. So no big ramp up in OI for BTC. Ramp up for F, and Sol is starting to ramp up. which is just great. Looks like the longs are coming on board at the end here. Interesting and confusing. But it's really quite small movement, so I wouldn't take this as an important figure. Yeah, we're just seeing this. Sol's quite even. No idea why this weighted is 0.65 when this is at 1, and I believe there's a lot more. Anyway, so Sol seems fine. ETH and BTC look a bit overshorted still. We've seen BlackRock change direction, and they're kind of leaking out news that sovereign funds are buying at round numbers for long-term holdings. They're probably dipping their toe in, but they got real money, and that probably explains a little bit of the Coinbase buying. That's not ETF. They're gonna hold forever, I mean, or not. It's gonna be very random, and I think that's kind of it. So long story short, some shorts on offer on BTC and Hype. ETH, don't know where it's at, but yeah, gonna keep clear of ETH, and some BTC longs below, keeping my eyes on Mon, Hype, and XPL. Sol is not looking super strong. All right. Thank you, bye.